Welcome back to the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Danielle here with Shano, sitting in for Tom today. And joining us now are Zahara Heckscher, writer, educator, and social justice advocate, and also a cancer patient. You've probably seen her on with Tom at least a few times before. And Lori Wallach, director of the Global Trade Watch, author of The Rise and Fall of Fast Track Trade Authority. Such an important term that none of us knew, just a handful of years ago. Lori, Zahara, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's an honor.
So I think a lot of Tom's audience has heard the story of you protesting and getting arrested. But in case people aren't familiar with that background, Zahara, will you tell us a little bit about that incident and how it led up to what you're going to tell us about in just a second?
Sure. Well, I am a person with advanced breast cancer, and I'm really passionate about cancer patients getting the access to the medicines we need. So when I found out that the TPP threatened access to cancer meds, I knew I had to get involved. The first thing I did to publicize it, because most people haven't heard about what's going on with the TPP, I did get arrested when it was being negotiated in Atlanta. And then on February 4th, which is World Cancer Day, along with another cancer patient, Hannah Lyon, I got arrested outside Pharma at a protesting again the TPP and the threat of the TPP for people with cancer and our ability to access the medicines we need to stay alive.
Yeah, what a tremendous thing to ask for. Just the medicine to keep you guys alive. And you had your day in court.
We did. Yesterday, we had our arraignment. We were given a court date of March 31st.
Okay.
We have heard that the maximum penalty would be 6 months in jail, but we're really thinking that's a little unlikely. Probably we might get community service, but we won't know until March 31st. But the important thing is that's not slowing us down at all.
Right.
We are fighting. We're just committed to keep fighting the TPP, letting people know. And at this point, we've decided we're going to start a new organization for cancer patients and our loved ones to join the fight against the TPP and for access to medicine. So we're going full steam ahead, and we want people to know the most important thing they can do is contact their members of Congress and let them know this is a bad deal for people with cancer and our loved ones and anyone who cares about access to medicines.
Yeah. And, this is also a big issue in the presidential campaign. And people need to keep fighting to make sure that this TPP doesn't become reality. You said you set up a website. Recently.
We did. We have the short URL is tinyurl.com/cancerTPP. If you go there, you can see a video that explains the protest and why Hannah and I are doing this. You can get involved. We have links to Global Trade Watch and how you can get more informed. And we also, it's a fundraiser on Indiegogo. But even if you can't donate, we encourage you to go there to see the background, learn about the issues, take action, and especially see that link to contact your member of Congress. That's really, really vital that Congress people hear now. And also, if there's any cancer patients and loved ones listening, you can contact me, Zahara Heckscher, right from that website, that tinyurl.com/cancerTPP. And we'll be in touch about the network we're going to form for cancer patients.
And Lori, I just want to remind everybody, we're also here with Lori Wallach, director of Global Trade Watch, citizen.org/trade. You guys have been really focused on the TPP and the dangers that lurk in that trade deal for American workers, for patients, just like Zahara. I see this pharmacy issue as just an example of one component. Can you explain how there are so much more in the TPP that is just this concerning?
The best way to think about the TPP is not by the brand that its proponents are trying to sell it. They're selling it as a trade agreement. It's more like a delivery mechanism for a whole basket of policies that could not make it through the even crazy current Congress because they were so bad for so many people. So just for instance, you've heard about the medicine-related policies that Zahara is discussing in a free trade agreement is anti-competitive monopolies for big pharmaceutical companies to counter competition and let them have crazy monopoly prices. But also, of the 30 chapters of TPP, that's one of them, the patent chapter, there are only 6 that actually have to do with trade. So if you look at the other 24 chapters, one of them is that medicine price-raising chapter. You also have a chapter that would literally subsidize the export of U.S. jobs. Yes, a chapter of TPP makes it easier for corporations to offshore our jobs to low-wage countries. Another job limits food safety. That's the chapter that would flood us with unsafe imported food, including all of that shrimp and other seafood that now gets stopped when it's sent from Malaysia or Vietnam for violations. Another chapter would roll back a lot of the regulations that were put on Wall Street after the global financial crisis. Another chapter would limit internet freedom and let the big content companies get some of their crazy monopolistic policies in place that Congress has rejected over and over. Another chapter in the agreement would effectively get rid of the use of buy local and buy American when the government buys goods and services. So all non-trade issues that affect our day-to-day lives. And the final bit of this is, were this to be put in place through the TPP, you could change governments, change presidents, change congresspeople, but you can never change these rules unless every single of the 12 countries agrees. So it basically is like putting our feet into cement, into a retrograde set of policies and locking us there.
Yeah. And I think so often in these type of debates, we get stuck talking about policy, or we get, because that's often the only thing we have to go on. And Zahara, I think having a personal component and showing that when, Lori, you're talking about environmental issues or food safety or medication, that these are issues that affect real people, real Americans who could literally live or die based on this trade legislation. Have you had any response like that, Zahara, that a connection of more personal stories, that people showing how they're actually affected?
I think you're hitting on a key issue. Trade can seem a little wonky. And I like to tell people this is not an issue for the wonks. It's not an issue for the business pages. This is an issue for everybody that lives in this country to be concerned about, whether you're concerned about democracy itself, whether you're 1/3 of or 30% of Americans will get cancer at some point in their life. Almost all of us know or love someone who has cancer, had cancer. This is something that touches people individually. And if I can be an individual who lets people understand that it's about real people, it's about life or death, I'm really happy to do that. I mean, I'm just, a mom with cancer trying to do my best and, stay going as long as I can. But I want to use my voice to let people know this is really dangerous for real people, cancer patients, our loved ones, and workers as well, and anyone who cares about the environment.
And there are thousands and thousands of more people just like you who are personally affected by this. So people can go to the tiny URL /cancer TPP. And then, Lori, I presume they can go over to citizen.org.trade to learn about the rest of the deal?
That's right. And folks, as horrible as this is, it will not happen unless the majority in Congress approves it. So if you don't like what you learn about, if what Zahara says makes you furious, call your member of the House of Representatives today and get them to commit to you. They will oppose the TPP.
Perfect. 1 second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
As Tom says, that guy always steps on me. The website's tinyurl.com /cancer.tpp and citizen.org/trade. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.